Hello there and welcome to ADcraft. In today's special video I'm going to be doing a realm tour of my old realm. Now this is the place where a lot of the ideas for many of my videos came from and where I came up with them, so don't go anywhere and let's see what I built. So the first place we're going to look is my initial starter base. Now this is a download of the realm itself so that it doesn't interrupt anybody who was on the realm, so that I can look around, and also means so that I can go into creative mode and actually show you around a bit better. So what we have here is a basic tree farm, some chorus fruit, all of the things that you would like to farm. There were sheep there, but I moved those, cows, and then one of the key things that you have here is obviously an iron farm, which, yeah, you have the iron. This was an Il Mango design and something that basically was the main iron farm within the server for some time, and still going strong apparently. I thought it wasn't working. So if I just come down here and then show you very quickly inside, I won't go into too much detail here. It's just your basic starter base here, nothing fancy, more functional because I did have some big ideas. I did have an AFK fish farm, but the only reason for that really was for name tags, because they are very useful as a commodity there, and in terms of getting books and things like that, I did it the legit way with a villager breeder and obviously then a villager trading hall, so making sure that each of these villagers has got things there, and then just stockpiling all the things that I was going to use in order to actually trade with these villagers. So yeah, nothing particularly fancy so far, but it was a very good, very functional base to start with, as I did have ideas for a base on an island that we'll come to later on in the video, which is obviously the main base, the main focus of this. But yeah, off in the distance there was one of the other people in the realm. They decided to build a base up at build limit, and almost always when they came online they'd end up running off the edge and dying. So that's the downside. Be aware of that. If you are building a base up high, make sure that you've got some good feather falling and preferably an elytra. So just coming through to the nether, very quickly through here just to show you, just running along. We've added some ice paths since then, but obviously this was just tunnels at first. It was quite a high nether spawn, so it was just a case of carving things out, so no oceans to cross and things like that. But what I'm going to show you now, we've just passed back there an entranceway for the end, but there's nothing really that's been built in the end so far. Is I will show you very quickly the community island before moving on to some of the other things. One other quick thing before I went, one of the people on the server did decide to go above the bedrock ceiling and build a gold farm, but never got round to breaking the bedrock up there, so getting up and down there was always a bit of a pain, which basically meant that we didn't really use it as much as we could. So coming through here, we've got just a basic look at the community island. There was a giant mushroom biome in the middle here, which we all decided was going to be a good place to set everything up. That was the initial pillar to sort of denote where everything was, and obviously we then built around and using beacons and things have mined out, have tree farms and various different things, super smelter over there for the community. Underneath this island as well, we were lucky enough to have a skeleton spawner, and then your basic sort of cow and mushroom crushers there in order to get a little bit of the resources that are needed. But yeah, quite a good community island, quite a good little community that we had on here. We set up some shops over there, a little mini shopping district where everybody was displaying and selling their wares. Now coming back into the nether, the one thing I will show you is this iceboat road. So one of the things that we've got here is a guardian farm which I built myself, and we will be coming through to look at that. A little bit of lag there, as we come across, travelling too fast. And so I built this ice boat path based on some of the ones from Hermitcraft, but just as a good way to get around before we come down through here to the main event with all the Guardians. Now, this isn't the most efficient. Again, didn't really get around to breaking and lighting up all of the areas underneath, but I will give you a quick look. It looks quite nice as the sun is setting here. Anybody who hasn't done a Guardian farm in their life, then it is massively rewarding, but it is a huge endeavor to do this, to mine out, even just to mine out all of the blocks there, but also getting rid of all the Guardians. But there are various different ways that you can do it. And then moving down here, that's the up, just comes down to a enchanting area here close to where the Guardians are. Die Guardians, so they're set there to the fall is meant to actually somebody's accidentally broken a block there. Yeah, the fall is meant to kill them, but it has got an automatic mode whereby you can come in and then it will allow them to stay alive. So just basically using the heights of things, making sure that everything is all present and correct. So moving on from the actual Guardian farm area down to the storage there, obviously using some nice bubble elevators to get down. This is where everything gets collected, and then you've got a little crafting area, so there's an auto sorter behind this with all of the drops from the Guardians there. The lovely squealing in the background is always nice as well. Yeah, and that was the Guardian farm. That took about a week to actually build the whole thing. Really, really rewarding in the end, but yeah, it was a grind to actually do that. So yeah, really glad that I did that, and everybody was using it then as their XP farm on the realm. So back in the boat, then this tunnel doubled up, going to the community island, and there's a turning off just there, and it also goes to my main base. So one of the first things that we'll have a look at here is that there is a custom portal here. This portal is basically covered with item frames, and those item frames have got a map that I created, which is using red concrete. Now, the Guardian farm took a long time, but this map in itself, even though it's plain red, gathering the resources and everything, also took a massive amount of time, but I was able to then reuse it for all the portals to my base, and this probably gives you a bit of an indication of the style of base that I had. So coming through here whilst it's dark, you get the first view again of the custom portal here at the other end, but also my base in general. So you might see some things here that you recognise from some of my other videos. For example, the Tori Shrine there, the Itsukushima one, the bridge that I built here, and again, some of the other elements. One of the things that people always comment on that they used to love was the lighting that I had here. So what I've done here is using some half slabs and some lanterns, I have created some of the floating Japanese style lanterns that you see quite a lot. And there's a little river that comes out from underneath the main base along here. And kind of the lore around this was that the lanterns were set there under here and have just flowed through out into the ocean itself. And as during that as well, there are up here some of the floating lanterns in the sky. So yeah, I'll just go in the air and show you around a bit. There's quite a lot of custom blossom trees. Again, the video on my channel, you can see how to build some of these. I didn't go over the top with them just because I thought that it was nice to have them a bit more sparsely set out. One of my pets there, my little cat, and then here we have the main base. Now this was the first structure that I actually built on this island, and the island itself was a very, very different shape when I had it. So I created everything sort of past that that Tory shrine there, that was all manually created. So it had this chunk and had a nice little bit that was connected up here, but I've lowered everything. I built through, and all of this was done in survival. I am in creative here, but this is just because it's a download of the world itself. Yeah, so this was basically designed in order to hold my sorting system and my main base, but we'll go in and look at that in a second. There's one thing that I want to show you first, which is the last thing I was building on this realm, and again something that we haven't done a tutorial for, but I will probably do a tutorial for at some point, which is this temple castle thing here. And if we open this up, you will see we have the new and improved villager breeder at the moment, but soon to be turned into a trading hall with them. So down here we have an automatic zombie system. So a zombie will be roaming around the section behind them. You can then drop the villagers down, the zombie will see them, will kill them, you can bring them back up here and cure them, and it'll give you much better trades. So that was kind of the purpose of this building. Thanks to the Guardian farm, there's a lot of the sea lanterns in here, and I did build a 3x3 piston door here just to kind of make sure that everything was secure inside and no other zombies could get in. But yeah, this is just again another quick look around the build. All custom terraformed land around here. So this entire thing, you can just see underneath there's something that we'll cover off in a second down there. Once I'd built this, the other thing to note out here is, oh, I'm in one of my lanterns. So these lanterns are really great for the Japanese builds, and they are using some glass panes, just a single iron bar with a lantern hanging down, but from the ground they give a really nice paper lantern view. And here we have a mob spawner. So this here just uses a basic etho hopper clock. And what this does is it activates trapdoors that are on the other side that are holding water back. So you have 2 high, but obviously you could build more spawning platforms here. And the water every so often will move across and then will flush those mobs down with an AFK spot here down. But we'll go down and have a look at that in a second. So moving on inside the base itself, what we have is again some of the banners, just a little vine farm, and here we have the main sorting system. So again we have, as you may recognize from another video of mine, one of the automatic shulker box unloaders with then just the ability to put some items in, and that pumps items into the water stream, and then have an auto sorter here as to cover off the main sort of elements and things here. Now this is only the first level. I did obviously do the interior of this build, but this is only the first level of the sorting system, and we'll go down and look at the rest of the sorting system now. So yeah, the way up and down with the custom trees that I built some little water column elevators for these as the quick ways up and down. And then underneath, obviously, quite a lot of mining's gone into this, as you can see, and never quite worked out what I wanted to put in this big area. But yeah, we have the second part of the sorting system. So once the items have come round, they just drop down through the ceiling into some more water streams, where again we've got some more auto sorters going on, covering off sort of the bulk items first and foremost, and then sort of some of the other items as well. I think it's 96 bays that this sorting system goes through, and then we've just got bulk storage for the rest of things. Now, I mentioned before, just going to creative because it's quicker. and I've got another little brewing station there, but this is the point where all of the items came through from the mob grinder. So as you can see, very, very full. Whenever I was in the base, this thing's running, so actually it really was quite a useful thing to get everything that we had. And then again, do love my bubble elevators in a survival world. Coming up there, the AFK spot that we have up here, just nice and secure with a lovely view as well around there. Now, the one thing that you will see over there in the distance, I mentioned about the custom map that I created, and that's actually where I created it. I would definitely make it further away if I was going to do it again in the future. And I know that I haven't locked all of the maps, so I can't really get rid of it. So that's a bit of a shame. But yeah, just up here, a little bed and AFK area, and then some signs to say up and down. And you do get a lovely, lovely view as you go down this bubble elevator of the rest of the base, which is always really satisfying to me. And then come out down here, making sure not to go on all of the magma blocks. Now, if we come this way, I will show you down. So this again takes us up into the main building, but also there's a down level as well. And where this brings us out is at the top of some stairs. And what we have here is, you guessed it, a slime farm. So there were some slime chunks around the base, which was quite useful. And so I created this, I think, 4-platform slime farm. There's still some slimes that we've just missed, who've obviously just unfortunately passed away. But yeah, just all of this mob proof down here, all with half slabs. And then just your basic slime farm there. With quite a lot of slime balls coming through. Quite an efficient design, this one, because obviously they come to the iron golems, 2 layers of iron golems, and then they just fall off onto the magma. And then through here, just, that's a very, very quick thing. This was then my beacon mining area, so I needed to move my beacon, but there's another slime chunk over there. So quite a few slime chunks around here within this build. So I did use quite a different colour palette to what most people would use. I actually used the stone and the end stone. A lot of end stone mining went into this, but I just really liked that yellow combination with just obviously some custom lighting all the way around. So it was just something that was a bit different, a colour that people don't normally use. Now, what we're going to show you now is probably sort of the thing that I was most proud of in the world, and I will be doing a tutorial on this at some point. We have here my own personal design for the smelter. So it is off now. So you put your items in here, they get pumped into a minecart, and then it goes through in the smelter. Now you can only see half of the actual furnace arrays here. There's another lot of furnaces that are on the other side, so we'll go through and see this. And this whole thing was created bespoke underwater. So this sits underneath the villager breeder and gives just a nice little underwater viewing port to the rest of the ocean there, again with various different things that I could have built out here. And what this is powered by is 6 zero-tick bamboo makers farms. And you can see the other side, everything's, you can get to everything just in case anything clogs up here. But yeah, this is a nice little neat design for, I think, 32 furnaces. Automatically runs and gets powered with that bamboo, so really nice, a nice touch there when it's running. Never runs out of fuel, and means that you can actually smelt things really quite quickly. And then just another little 3x2 piston door, very simple design there. So as we take a final view of the island, I was very, very proud of this. This was probably the thing that actually started me on YouTube. So as I mentioned, I had a realm with some people that I knew through work. We set this up, created this island with a lot of graft and a lot of hard work, and terraformed the whole thing. And it was basically off the feedback and the comments that I got from those people, saying how much they liked it and how they thought it was really good and would like to know how to build it, that I actually started doing the tutorials on the channel. So this is the base that you've got to thank for my channel being in existence. And if you do see any of the builds here or anything that you would like to know a little bit more about, I've either got videos for them already, or let me know in the comments and I'm happy to make videos. So obviously there's ones for these bridges, there's ones for the trees, there's ones for the different Tory shrines, but there's one for a variation of this temple. But I still have that castle to go, and also want to do the lighting at some point, just with some more build hacks and tips. But yeah, if you've liked this video, please do leave a like, make sure that you are subscribed, and leave a comment of what you'd like to see in the next tutorials. And thank you very much for watching, and see you next time on ADcraft.